But I would have loved to have been like one of those international guys that goes to Afghanistan or, that writes stories about politics in the Middle East. That's what I find interesting,
Wait, one of those guys who goes, say that again? Sorry.
I would have loved to have been one of those wartime correspondents or like somebody who goes like for the Associated Press and goes into Afghanistan and writes articles about war or goes to Libya and, it sounds very exotic. I don't know how that works, if you got to fund yourself or you sell it or you get hired by a big network that does it or something. But I always found international type of news as fascinating, man. Especially, what's one thing you should write about is the Christian genocide. Nobody even talks about it. What they're doing it's not that. A lot of people don't even realize what they're doing to the Coptic Christians. What they're doing to what they're doing to. There was 1.3 million Christians in Iraq, and now there's only 300,000. What they did in Mosul, where they burned all the churches. You know what I mean? It's a modern-day genocide, and not only against Christians, but against jihadis. And it's really not in the main public consciousness of America. You have to look for it,
Yeah.
Look at the cover of the paper, you know what I mean? If I was you, I would go right there and find children, parents of children who were beheaded and that type of stuff. That's the news of our time, man.
Yeah.
Or go to Greece and see all the Muslims flowing in, the refugees flowing in, and tell the story from all the perspectives. Exciting times we're living in, my friend.
I know. I was just going to say that everything's just getting more and more extreme, and I actually did a story with a guy. He was the photographer, but he'd been a combat correspondent in Iraq, and on the side of his arm he had tattooed these. It was 3 different sets of praying hands, and I said, "What are those?" And those, he said, each one is an explosion that I survived.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, he was. He introduced himself. He's like, "Hey, I'm Ben Lowy," and I thought, that name rings a bell. And sure enough, like the week before, he'd been on the Daily Show. Because he had a book out about his, travels and stuff. So
listen, I will speak to you, okay? I just walked back into my office. There's clients waiting for me. I guess think about your deal. Talk to an attorney or whoever your third party is that you're speaking to.
Yeah.
Let me know if they're ready to go forward and when you can meet me.
We're
holding off on the eviction for a few days. We'll hold off on it until you tell me what you're going to do, okay? I really don't want to go to court.
Yeah, I understand. All right, and should I call or email you? I'd rather email if that's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's whatever. That's what you're used to. And whatever. I don't mind. You've been sending me emails for FortinaLaw@gmail.com.
It's what?
I'm sorry. FortinaLaw@gmail.com.
Okay, great. I'll be in touch then, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.